Hi guys, today we'll be talking about what you should have done before booking day. Why? Because we are seeing quite a lot of viewing interest for the upcoming new launch, especially for Amo residents. As later I'll share a little bit more on the news. So that one will be happening on next Saturday. We are obviously expecting a lot of people to be balloting for that. And then anyway, we'll just move on and then we'll just talk about it in this session. So disclaimer as usual, just some of the things that I share today is just based on my own point of view, so it doesn't represent any other people. So make sure you do your due diligence and then yep, any case study is just purely coincidental. Okay. Anyway, this is just the typical scene of a balloting booking day. And then, of course, this is before COVID. That's why you don't have the mask. And then you've got the COVID days with the mask. And by the way, this is for the Piccadilly Grand. And for those of you who have been in the process before, you would have realized that it's a very stressful process because you're there. Uh, First of all, you get a lucky good number. Here you'll be queuing up, and then you go there and then realize that there are maybe hundreds of people there waiting, and then secretly choosing a unit that they want, comparing the prices, and then at the same time your list of your short listed units are slowly getting taken up as time goes. So it's a very stressful process, and then developers know this, they are well aware of this, and hence throughout the day they will adjust the prices, and there you are waiting for like maybe 1 2 hours already on that day itself, maybe standing there, and you realize the prices have went up. So what do you do, or rather what many people do end up, they still choose to wait and they choose to go ahead with the purchase. And obviously we do have quite some people with buyer's remorse. They come back and they be thinking, hey, wow, I shouldn't have bought this, man. Why was I so emotional? Which is quite human nature, because you queued for a few hours, you will be anticipating for days, and then you all along set your mind that, hey, I want this particular project, and hence I must get it. And once you have that kind of thinking, it's very easy for you to get basically chopped by the developers lah. So make sure you know your game plan, you know exactly what is the price ceiling that you're going for, and not get too emotional and get caught up just because this is the only so-called only opportunity that you know of, and you die there must get something. And this is what we saw at the previous few recent new launch. Why are we talking about this topic today? Because generally without fail, usually after a new development launch, and then I get quite some inquiries coming to me. Hey, TT, I recently tried to ballot for this one, or then I didn't get a good number, didn't get the choice unit that I want. So what happened? As a result, they decided, okay, now that I don't get this new project, what are my options next? And then they realize they are just starting to explore other options. But what happens? Other developers in other developments starts increasing the price, and obviously this becomes an even more stressful situation, because likely we know how the market sentiment are. Yes, you got your rising interest rate, blah blah blah. But the main key thing here is we need to look at the fundamentals of the market right now. The main key thing here is that we have very very low supply, and hence when you got low supply, what will happen to the price? And can developers play with the price? The ball is in their court, and hence they can always shift the price whenever they like. And most of them are not that near to their ABSD deadline, then that's why they can afford to play. We got Piccadilly Grand, drawing 5,000 plus visitors at the preview, sold 77% on launch weekend, set a new benchmark of 2,000 plus PSF. And by the way, this is an ASEA project. They collected about 1,450 checks for that launch week. I mean, not for that previous preview, for the 2 weeks worth of preview. Okay, my pardon, getting a little bit, maybe my mind's getting a little bit off already after a long day. And then you've got Leave at MB. I didn't manage to get an article on the preview, the number of visitors on the launch week. And anyway, it doesn't matter. The key thing here is that you got 1,002 over checks, even though this PSF was a lot higher. End up, it was almost 2,000 for PSF. And this was a development where there were quite a lot of impulse buys. There were people that I know ended up buying units that they end up regretting. Whether they actually end up forfeiting that one, we don't know. I hope so for some of them. If not, they'll be. If not, then hopefully they are not buying for investment. If they do, then I think it's quite an unfortunate thing lah. And especially now we know about the real East Coast plan. So those people who bought and spent very very high PSF for this, I think they are in for quite a little bit of surprise a few years down the road. So then you've got our residences. 7,500 over the so-called long weekend. And then how many checks are we expecting? Maybe definitely I think more than Piccadilly Grand. I would say at least maybe about 1,800 to 2,000 maybe. And as such, what will be your chances of getting a good number? And if you don't get a good number, will the unit type that you're targeting be stepped up? Or by then, even if it is not stepped up, even if it's not stepped up, by the time when it's your turn, will the prices have been tweaked up a few notches already? So for those of you who watch the Sheng Siong show, it's by pay by day, and everyone, it's normal that for those of you who participated, you got one of the receipts. I used to throw a few receipts and then just to see my luck, but obviously my luck sucked. And hence we throw in whenever they call they pick up they drop the receipt, and then you'll be thinking, hey, is it my turn? Is it my turn? That's what everyone thinks. Everyone thinks that they are lucky, and end up everyone is in for a disappointment. And this is what happens for a lot of the new launches nowadays, because like I said, even if the unit that you want is available by then, if let's say your queue number is maybe 800 to 1,000, by then would the prices have been shifted out a few notches already? Is it still within your acceptable PSF range that you're looking for? So make sure you are not banging your entire investment aim is just on this one development. You should always have a backup plan. You should always have a plan A. Okay, if this one doesn't go according to my plan, what is going to be my next plan? And if this one or suddenly or immediately on the day itself, developers they shifted the price already, what should be my plan C? And if I'm really going to wait, what are the developments I'm going to be waiting for? And if you're waiting for prices to drop, then I think you'll be likely be sitting on the sidelines for a very, very, very long time. Okay, and at the end of the day, make sure I think is this quote is always very apt, I would say. If you fail to plan, you're planning to fail. If you're just sitting around at the sideline, you have no idea what you're actually waiting for. You have no idea. Maybe you are waiting for this particular development that is coming out near your neighborhood. You feel, oh, it's a good buy because you love the neighborhood, but you fail to understand the fundamentals behind it. You fail to understand that how much the land was sold for, how much is the projected selling price, what is the market sentiment, and how much the projected profit margin that developers are probably aiming, and what is the typical specific developers pricing strategy based on their track record. And if you fail to understand all this, then obviously you're planning to fail. You'll be in for a big surprise. You'll end up either after failing a few launches already, after failing for a few ballot launches, you end up being a bit emotional buyer, and then just suck thumb, go and buy something, and chances of you, because of a frustration, you want to buy something, and chances of you buying something that's wrong, I think is very high. So this is a typical kind of thing that we see after example, I think likely Amo launch already, then you will see quite some other developments having this. And these are the typical examples of what we receive on our end, knowing that few recent launches came up, and then the surrounding pick up, or even not even the surrounding, maybe the other comparables in another region would have shifted quite a lot. We have shifted fast because the new development, obviously usually the newer ones will be more expensive. So you got a so-called more inferior location launching at a higher price than expected. And then these older ones will be shifting their prices up in order to match that kind of price gap, right? You not then with the price gap is too cheap, then uh I think the developers they are most of them are in this line for decades. So if they don't take advantage of this situation, they'll probably be rather dumb to not make use of it, right? After all, they are the real insiders of this market. So as for the direction of the market, as you can see, we've got last month, we've got Lakeside apartments being sold on block for 14% above reserve price. And I think we are already prepping for this higher interest rate hike from the Federal Reserve, and hence causing the trigger effect to us, whether is it SORA, SIBOR, or whatever thing. But so the outlook for interest is generally quite grim. But is it really affecting our market sentiment? Is it really affecting our real estate market? Yes, it will slow down. It will definitely slow down. But will it be enough to crash the market? And if you observe the charts from the previous previous 10 years, which I think I already shared last video, so I'm not going to be sharing today again, then you realize that maybe when interest rate rise quite a lot, what happens is that market slows down. But the market crash, I think very, very unlikely due to the fundamentals of how our real estate market here is. It is very hard for people to have a fire sale because most people only have one property. And as long as they don't lose their job, and I don't think we are expecting people to lose their job in this upcoming recession, because MAS has already mentioned that we are expecting headwinds, but we are not expecting to be headed for a catastrophe or disaster, that kind of thing. You're just experiencing a little bit of difficulties here and there, but not too much to the extent that we got a lot of people being retrenched. And then we got Lake Point, this one, having better upgrades to their planning parameters. They have high limits control being lifted, and hence will the price be able to fetch higher? That one I think is quite obvious. And then this one just came in like probably today or yesterday only. I think only yesterday. So Kingsford likely it's not confirmed yet, but it's very, very likely to be Kingsford because of the way they describe the buyer. And then this is more or less true. They just have to hold some meeting to confirm the thing. But why are we bringing out this? Because as you can see, this kind of price, when you got a break even, if you're going to calculate the break even, then you would have known that basically these developers they are definitely not going to be selling below the whatever they bid, and hence this will be the new what do you call it, price benchmark for next year onwards. Next year, or maybe if let's say they decide to launch the year after, but this is going to be the new benchmark next time. So at the end of the day, if you notice, last time, why do we have crashes in the property market? Because you've got this kind of extreme movement. Imagine within the span of 1, 2, 3. Okay, so maybe 1, 2, 3, 3 to 4 years. Prices went up almost twice. Are we seeing that kind of thing? I think not really that much. When you got this kind of sharp increases, then I think it is unlikely that economic fundamentals have managed to catch up that fast, and hence you've got all these ups and downs, and then the other one is ups and downs, and then during the financial crisis, and then you've got this one up all the way until here because of all the different cooling measures, and then you manage to slow down before TDAs are kicked in, and then crash the market quite a little bit. I wouldn't even call it a crash. It's more like a moderation, because this is what I call a crash. This kind of gradual down slope, I think is a little bit more moderated, a little bit more controlled. And then if you see what we are experiencing for the past maybe 5 to 6 years, or maybe even maybe 6 years, you realize that yes, this one is downward pivot. After that, the market slowly nudge up. It is not experiencing this kind of effect, where it's not like this. And so is it difficult for us to experience a crash? I think it's quite obvious. And if you are waiting for a crash there, I think you may want to reassess the data that you are looking at, and probably try to do as much research as you can before you jump to your own conclusions. Okay, so at the end of the day, make sure before you, if Amo is going to be your only plan so far, then I think the most important thing you need to do is to reevaluate your options and make sure at least you have option B, option C, and if you decide to wait, what exactly are you waiting for? If you have no idea what you're waiting for, then I think probably you may want to give up on this real estate investment plans, because if you're just waiting and waiting and waiting without a specific aim, you have no idea what you're waiting for, then I think the more you think about it, the more sian you're gonna be, because 10 years down the road you will very likely be sitting on the sidelines and thinking, last time I should have bought this, last time I should have bought that, and you're just making yourself miserable. So if that's going to be the case, then I'd rather you just give up and not think about it, because it's just going to make your own life miserable. And so there are people who ignorance is bliss. They don't care. They didn't give a shit about the market. So are they happy? I'm very sure they are happy. But would they have done better financially if they managed to discipline themselves, get themselves interested in the market? Definitely. But I'm very sure these people are happy in their own way. So there's no right or no wrong. Okay, so that will be all we have for today. So make sure you do your due diligence, and hope everyone have a good luck when it comes to balloting. See you guys. Bye bye.